I think there is, like, I used to have this arrogance about just using a splice loop as is. It's a pride thing, you know? It's like, man, you know, like, that's cheating, you know? It's like, that's just using this guitar. But, like, then I started to think about it and, like, first of all, what's splice for? It's for that. But also, like, I started to think, am I letting pride or ego get in the way of, like, a potential creative moment? You know? Like, I don't know. I found it, eventually I resolved that it was ridiculous to feel that way. And maybe you've never gone through that, but I just feel like it made me think, the point being, it made me think about how often does, you know, obviously, like, in a writing session, you know, it's hard, it gets harder when ego's in the room. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about, like, when you're just by yourself. Like, it started me thinking about, how does pride affect my creativity? And is there ever an instance when my pride is gonna diminish? We'll get to the breakdown. Sorry. Is there ever an instance when my pride is gonna hurt my creative whatever? Like, another example is, you know, sometimes I'll do something on a production. I'll be like, oh fuck, I always use this effect, or I already did this, like, I already used that guitar loop like 15 times in 15 other songs. Mind you, no one's heard the other songs. So basically, according to the rest of the world, the only person that knows I've used that loop a ton of times, I've done that vocal process a ton of times, is me. And, like, what if it's a really good idea and now I'm just not going to do it because I did it before on those other, that no one heard? Like, that's an example of pride getting in the way of, like, something potentially awesome, you know? And I think there's tons of other things. Another example that and I don't think this is pride. It could be also, like, fear or whatever. It's something related to the ego. But, like, I was in Long Island a couple weeks ago working with John Bellion, and he was like, he would say things like, "Oh yeah, like, you do some melodies. Like, I always do the same thing." And I was like thinking, oh my God, I love what you do. I love that same thing that you do all the time. Like, you know, and sure enough, when he get on the mic, he would do, you know, melodies of that John Bellion would do. And it's like, whoa, this is crazy. It's like, you know, and he's just like, oh, you know, okay, like, thanks, cool. Yeah, I guess it is good. And I was thinking, like, man, that's, you know, what a shame we almost missed that melody, because, you know, and I do the same shit as John. We all kind of do, like, oh, I always do this, I always do that. But, like, you know, there's a difference between, yeah, like, if I tried to put out another, you know, Don't Start Now that sounded like a disco thing, like, you know, I sort of don't want to do that because, like, obviously I've already done that and everyone knows I've already done that. You know, there's a difference between that and then just, like, having your own little personal, oh, I'm so tired of my bullshit, kind of this, I always do this and I always do that. And, like, you know, think about who that really matters to besides you. You know what I mean?